sense, if, you know, we talk about, don't we? We talk about fulfilling our dreams, you know, literally, you know, and sometimes language does have this propensity to literally tell us what we're doing, not just on a physical level, but on a mental and a spiritual level, right? And I think this is perhaps one example. And so we talk about fulfilling our dreams, and if we create our reality, you know, we are putting out through our consciousness, through our imagination, whatever it is, something into the energy field that will then manifest in the physical form. Isn't that a form of dreaming? You know, the shamans, for example, in South America, they talk about dreaming the world into reality. You know, this is very much their stuff. You
it's
know,
exactly the same
shamanistic approach.
Absolutely exactly the same principle, that consciousness creates reality, and reality is dependent on consciousness. You asked me about whether reality, you know, is, you know, subjective or objective, or both. Yeah. And of course it is both, because our perception of what we think is reality, our picture of reality, is purely subjective.
Yes.
The way I look at the world, the colour it is, the shape I think, only I see it like that.
Exactly.
I have no idea how you see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we assume that it's similar because if you paint a picture of it, but that's only me interpreting it. So,
and in spite of that, it's interesting how we, the royal we, make so many generalizations about the world.
And we make so many,
and it's that one cap fits all.
But
you know?
what I believe is that just because my picture of the world is subjective doesn't mean that the world itself is subjective. The world can exist in its own kind of state, and it exists in such an amazing state that everyone can have their own picture of it. Right. And it fulfills everyone's picture. Somehow or other, reality is able to relate to the individual consciousness. So the individual consciousness has a subjective picture of reality, which fulfills our conscious needs and aspirations, and everyone's. So, just because, you know, say you look at a beautiful kind of, say, an abstract painting, what I take out of it is personal and subjective. But that doesn't mean the painting is subjective. The painting is there. It is its, whatever it is. But I'm seeing it in a particular way. I'm drawing something from it. Someone else is looking at it.
But if you have no awareness, what is the object of reality?
But consciousness. How can you say if I have no? That's
well, if you have no subject. I mean, let me try and put it a different way. I'm trying to sort of.
If there's no sense of objective reality, then how can I even form a picture?
Well, yes. I mean, if you take it, what I'm trying to do is to take away your subjective reality as a given, and put you into an objective reality situation, which obviously I can't do.
But I don't know if that. Honestly, I don't believe that exists.
No,
I don't believe that consciousness in any kind of state, you know, for us, will be anything other than subjective.
Okay, well, put it another way.
But I believe that it can be a highly conditioned type of subjectivity, where I've allowed myself to have the lowest possible vision of what reality is. Okay. Or I can have a highly enlightened perspective.
Right. Okay. Well, give me an example of objective reality.
Well, I think that the fact that consciousness is multiple, although united in kind of the commonality of consciousness.
Unified, yeah.
Yeah, but and the physical world is a manifestation of transformed consciousness, and is manifested by the multitude of consciousnesses acting upon it and manifesting it. Yeah. However, I tend to see only part of it. I tend to see it in a particular way.
I see what you're doing.
I tend to see it, my perspective of how benevolent it is or how nice it is.
I see what you're doing.
That's all subjective, but that doesn't mean it is as I think it is, or it doesn't exist if I don't see it.
But hear me out on this, right? At the highest level, if everything is unified, if everything is one, right, then there can be no objective reality, right? you can only have objective reality as you're calling it if you chunk down and you make it the sum of the parts. You see what I'm saying? If you have a whole which is totally unified, where's the objective reality?
The objective reality is manifested from that absolute source. And
as what?
As absolute consciousness. As absolute consciousness.
Ah.
And absolute consciousness is quantized into individual consciousness, as we are. We are individual kind of quantums of...
Yeah. Well, this is why I'm testing.
And the individual quantum...
When you bring it back to the individual, I understand.
The individual will always have a kind of subjective, but as we kind of come to the enlightened state, we actually will get closer to seeing it from the objective point view of reality.
Yeah.
But then and another day we'll get into the esoteric aspect of, we talk about Maya, Mahamaya, which is the illusion of thinking of ourselves distinct, separate, part of this material world. You get out of that state to enlightenment. Then you go further into a state of Yoga Maya, which actually is a spiritual illusion, where you actually go beyond kind of objective reality into another state of
super objective reality.
Super objective, almost illusioned reality.
What a great idea.
And that's where you discover that's where love manifests in the almost the illusion of separateness.
I shall look forward to that.
But that's another story.
That's for another day.
We'll be on 10,012.